This group is particularly productive. It's inspiring me in my job every day, and it's why I come back here every year, because the discussion we have are really important for my job. And we are in partnership with the government of Canada for many years. And in this situation of the crisis right now, it's more important than ever to have this kind of relationship and collaboration with the government, and the partnership are there for that, because problems are big, and the results would be really fantastic. When you have a good partnership, you can help the businesses, the people in the collectivity. So it's important.
I'm here to learn from other regions and from other partnerships how to deal with the change that's coming now. In our area, we are looking forward to cooperate for training, for job opportunities, for business development. And it's not so easy to develop in a future that is totally unknown. On the one hand, we have more unemployment on the young women, but also in all ages. And we see the difference in the situation of the enterprises. And we have a loss of tasks, a loss of markets, and so we need to deal with a change in the economy situation and a change in the employment situation.
We are here for two reasons. First is because we are a primary partner of OECD, of program LEED. Second reason is because we want to present here an Italian case of industrial districts in which there is an important and an interesting experience about partnership and local governance.
I think the next day and a half promises to be a very interesting discussion and an important discussion, because partnerships is clearly key to improving labour market prospects, in particular better jobs, also useful for improving social inclusion, and always a subject that is well worth pursuing in some depth, but particularly in the face of the economic downturn, the crisis. I think there are even more important reasons that government and business work together. And I think it's very interesting to see how the crisis will mean that governments and businesses have to work together. I think it's an open question. I don't think we have an answer yet. With crisis, there's much more pressure. I mean, those who are weakest in terms of their skills are going to be those who lose their jobs first, and they're going to find it most difficult to get another job. So there's even more pressure on partnerships, business world, governments, to make sure that those people have the skills and other equipment to be able to have jobs.
I'm here because I have found the conferences in the past very, very useful, with some very, very good ideas. And I think now, with the huge downturn in the Irish economy and the fact that the level of unemployment is rising incredibly quickly, I'm hoping that we can pick up some new ideas so that we can take back to Ireland that can help us to deal with the big increase in unemployment, which is something we haven't seen for many years. I think partnerships are very important in the context of rising unemployment, because I think if we're going to come up with any solutions, we can only do it if we all work together. That is, the employers, the trade unions, and the state, and the community, all working together to try and come up with new solutions. We had some good and innovative ideas when the partnership started off about letting people keep their social welfare while they were starting up their own business. We need to come up with new ideas, different ideas, and that's what I'm hoping to go back to Ireland with. The current global financial crisis makes a huge difference. In the Irish context, the growth in the economy was based on the expansion of the construction industry, and I think the government did spend the money too quickly, and I think now that huge financial crisis has hit us. It's undermined our banking system. The construction industry has collapsed, so yes, it's having a huge impact in Ireland, and I think we are very, very lucky that we are all at the moment in the European Union.
In Italy, there are a lot of interesting experience about private partnerships. So we are working to reduce the distance or the gap between private and public sector. about aim at politics, through about aim at politics, and through the for new law, regional, territorial, that can work in this direction.
My expectations here today and tomorrow is to learn a bit about the different partnerships and new methods of partnerships in order to how to found them, how to strengthen them, and how can they deliver results. It's each time when I come to the OECD conferences here in Vienna, partnerships make the difference. It's like in two hands there's more than in one. In two organizations there's more than in one. Certainly if you want to go and evolve and try to innovate, I don't believe in one organization innovating things. You can be strong in one side of the thing, but you can't be strong enough to have a real global view on things. And that's why you need partnerships. In order to, organizations should cover each other's weaknesses by showing their strengths. In that way, partnerships are a way of delivering and are delivering a 1 + 1 is not 2 but 3. That's the reason for partnerships.
Here's a speaker, and so one of my expectations is to share what we're doing in the United States in terms of public-private partnerships. And I'm also here to learn how other countries are doing public-private partnerships. Do partnerships make the biggest difference is better outcomes for the people who are being served. So if it's students, better learning. If it's workforce enablement, better jobs. Unemployment is a time to retrain, so it's a time to partner so that we can have a better trained workforce in the future.